Hello, my name is Sister Anticipation by the rain, which really shouldn't be blamed, from the Glasgow Mission here in Scotland. So, it's come to my attention that you want to be Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. And I'm going to tell you in two parts what the call is and why I am. Because I can't tell you why you want to be a sister, because that's something that you will figure out and that you will feel inside of you. And it cannot be specifically articulated by another human being to say, aha, she wants to be a sister because of these things. That's something that will come from inside. So I want to tell you about my journey, and to do that, I have got a absolute shit ton of badges that I've collected. So as context, I am a nun of approaching 10 years, and I have helped seed 3 different missions. I've also got, I think, about 12 children. I'll need to actually count them and have a proper number. But and from that, grandchildren, which is fun, and a fairy goddaughter as well. I also have sons as well. So, but all of that can mean spit, because it doesn't matter. It's not, these aren't things to quantify how good a sister you are. They are simply the knickknacks and the trinkets that you pick up as you progress. The longer a sister you are, the more likely these things are to happen. They don't make me better than you when you start your journey. They don't make me better, because I believe that we look at it, Shuggle. Because I believe that as part of a non-hierarchical organisation where your opinion is the same as my opinion in terms of weight, where I don't get to go, all these things, I believe this and you believe that, and this is more important than that. That's not how I roll, and that's not what I teach. So, my journey. So, when I was brought into the Order of Perpetual Indulgence, a man, my would-be nun mother, took me to a pub, and because I approached him saying, I want to be part of Pride, because he was also a Pride organiser. I said, okay, got me to a pub, found out what I was all about, what I'd done with Bristol Pride, which is where I'd come from, and got me hideously drunk. And he said, you're very flamboyant, you do well as a sister. And I said, what the hell's that? I said, oh, it's a bunch of people dicking about. And I said, oh, fine. The next morning I got a sharp phone call around about 8 o'clock saying, so you coming to mind to manifest? And I was like, what do any of those words mean? And it was, yeah, you're coming over because then you can manifest and then we can go to your university to promote equal marriage. I said, okay, yep, those sound like all the right things. Let me just put juice in my head and stop the thumping. And so I went over. I was given things to wear and makeup to use. And so I made my face white and I painted a butterfly on it. And then the next thing I know, we're at my university. I went in there. They said, oh, we haven't planned for this. I said, oh, well, I let you know 2 weeks ago. I let you know 2 weeks ago that we were coming and doing this. If you want to turn away equal marriage campaign, then that's really up to you. It doesn't really look good, does it? And they were like, oh my God, let them in. So that was my first manifestation. It was a bit hectic. And it took me a while to realise the magnitude of what we were doing and the scale of the consequence of what we were doing. So I would pick that up later. I would experience people and things. And I want to show you some of these things so I've got this, it's almost like a tapestry. These are just a small portion of the badges that I have accrued through my journey. So I've got Sister Solidays from meeting some of our founding nuns. A thing, bold, pink triangle, that's from a dance event that I was at. My granddaughter, Edna Trashcan. A little Dalek badge, that was from the seeding of Cardiff. Save Human Rights Act, that's from protests. That's Sadie of the Massive Chasm, one of my daughters. This is from Gloucester Pride, and it's Mr. Ratburn, who was from, I think it's called, what's it called? Arthur? And I say, hey, what a wonderful time to play. What a wonderful kind of day. Anyway, so an animated series where they animated one of the main characters as a gay man who got married, which is fantastic. My partner. And these badges were done for bingo. Conclave. Conclave is where all the nuns in the world gather in one spot for a week and celebrate the anniversary of the sisterhood. The one that was closest to us was Berlin, and that was in 2016, and I went, and it was fantastic. Excuse me. We've got Equal, which comes from an equal rights recognition from a different church. We've got sisters from different places, so the Music City Sisters in... the Music City, I forget what I think near Tennessee. I've got grassroots organisations. When the Manchester Sisters turned 21, so their convent's been going for 21 years. Do remember when you start your mission, because then you can celebrate its birthday, and it's a really good excuse to get cake. No More Faith in Schools, Do You Know Me? Other campaigns, I go by they. Fur Coat Nay Knickers. Where's that badge? There we go. Fur Coat Nay Knickers, which is she's classy, but she's a whore. Which we love. Bristol or Bust, that's from the founding of Bristol. Because when we, at the beginning, I like to celebrate the rising of a mission by getting a set of badges, which all the starting people have. And so you get them and go, oh. It's just a way of uniting you all. And loads of different campaigns. I mean, I could bore you with all the different things. Buy on Your Side. We've got Buy, GMB, different organisations celebrating them. The End of Bullying Starts With Me. Silence is Better Than Bullshit. We've got other things, 25. Stuff from different languages. Ich liebe eine Frau. So when you come into contact with other sisters, they will often give you badges from their corner of the world. But when I look at all these badges, I remember the fact that I have been to lots of different places. And I've met loads of different people. And I've met some wonderful people. And I've also seen experiences where... this is going... So, for reference, I'll put a note in. Minute 8 is where it's all going to kick off. So why did I tell you all these things? Why did I tell you about my journey? And why does it even bloody matter? Because you might be making a similar journey. You might be making a similar choice. You will go and you will see on the streets people in various different stages of life. You will see them in trying to figure themselves out for gender, for sexual orientation, who they like, if they like anyone at all. And it's one of the things that we can do. One of our magical powers is that we learn about the LGBT culture wider and locally. So that when somebody comes to me and says, Sister Anne, I need to know myself. I need to join some sort of group. I need to do it on the quiet. Can you recommend anywhere? And I can go, yes I can, because I know this scene. I recommend that you go to the Gallery Bar, and I recommend that you have a drink and just look around you, because the people are friendly and they will talk to you if you're on your own. So there are many different ways where we gather information by existing and give it to those who are new to the scene, so people who don't have the confidence, because the sister's a wonderful thing. When you see us manifest, this is manifest, when you see us manifest and you see us continually, you build this image in your head that we are there, that we are part of the scene, that we can be trusted and that we're friendly. Because that's what our vows are. We promulgate universal joy, we expiate stigmatic guilt, and we serve the community. And we serve the community by being approachable, friendly, And so when we go out, we smile at people, we wave at people. One of the things that I do is if I'm going from here to the scene, as I pass people, something that was taught to me is literally saying to people, good day. Lovely day for it. Lovely day for it is something that will get you out of a lot of trouble. If somebody looks, there will be times where people will look at you and start to be like, what is this? And they'll be on the aggressive side of curiosity. I find if you can find something equivalent in Greek, lovely day for it. In Britain, that tricks the mind into going, yes, it is. Or if they are going to do something bad, then it will confuse them for long enough for you to simply pass and them just to be in confusion. On the word of safety, I have only ever been in danger once, and that's because I was on my own, which is a rule we have that you do not manifest on your own. Because if there's a group of you, there is a context. If there is only one of you, there is no context. So it's for your safety to manifest with more than one person. But why do I do this? Why do I do the sister thing? Why do I spend 3 hours when I could just go out there in t-shirt and jumper? And obviously trousers. And maybe shoes if I'm feeling like that. I spend the 3 hours because for me, I am constantly stacking a process on top of each other. So when I manifest, I know that when that paint goes on my skin, I'm going to do something fantastic today. Because in that face, I have done fantastic things. I have directed people towards services. I've talked to that person who was abandoned by their friends when they were making that drunk phone call of help. I have talked people through the things that they need. I have addressed crowds at prides. I have been centre stage at prides. I have gone onto disco dance floors and been called up by the drag queens to dance on stage. I have done quiet things also. I'm not trying to paint it so that only extroverts win. I've designed inserts for condoms that have information that specifically stipulates that consent is one of the essential things that you must have when you are having sex. I have molded choices so that we are more accessible, that we go to venues that don't have stairs, that we go to venues that you can fit a wheelchair through, because those are the changes that I can affect with what I have. And I have ran spaces that are accessible at prides, that have tea and cake and that do not allow anyone who is consuming alcohol in. To hold that space for those who are on the bell curve of pride. And I do this gladly because when I was little, I needed a sister. I needed a sister and I didn't have one. I went through the turmoil of going through many experiences, not really knowing what I should do. What was the right course of action? I had no role models. The closest thing to role models when I was small, when I was 14, were vampires, because they felt as I did, a hunger for affection. So, as a sister, I try and be a role model for LGBT youth by creating content, by blessing anyone that I can find, by simply existing as a sign of defiance against the systems that tell us to conform to gender roles. If there is room for me dressed like this, there is room for you dressed in any way you like. And we explain things to people. Sometimes I joyously get asked, I was at a children's school for this example, and I was in full regalia, so I had my face on and I had all this on. And the children asked me about the other person in the room. There was a trans person, and the children didn't really understand that. Me, a giant 6'2" nun, fine. But they asked me lots of questions about her. And so I explained a lot of things about how it is good to check with other people rather than the individual in the first instance. It's good not to be rude, but also if you desperately need answers, maybe Google them first and try not to ruin somebody's day. And if you think that somebody is something else, then just recognize that if a person is trying to present in a certain way, maybe use pronouns that way. But it's something towards the Disney version of everything I've just said, aimed at 7 to 9-year-olds. But that's the thing, is that that lots of different people on lots of different levels recognize that we are not actors, but it's almost like a veil. It is like a veil. It's like this thing that we have that look that allows people to just confide in us and throw away their insecurities on us. And people will come to you feeling prejudiced, or they will feel hard done by society. And you can say things like, "Oh, you shagged 15 men last week. Well done, golf clap." Or, "It's okay, but remember, if you're going to take drugs and sex, well, there might be a consent issue, and you should do it with somebody you trust, because that's safe. But if you don't, then that's your choice, and I love you either way." So that was the 8-minute that blew up into 16. Wonderful. And for the 17th minute is the nutshell version of everything, which is, I am a sister because I believe in a better world. I believe in a better world, and I want to be the change that I believe in. I believe that LGBT plus people should be recognised by law, that religion should be stripped from law completely, and that women should have total autonomy over their bodies. I also believe that trans people are equal and should not be demonized for wanting to go to the toilet. I also believe in freedom of speech and freedom of the press, which is being taken away in Britain. And I want to do all that I can so that I can honour the fact that there will be less children who go through the nightmare of coming out or understanding who they are by the actions that I show. If I can do one thing to make this world a little bit brighter than what I found it when I was younger, then I will try, because as much as we talk about it within the sisterhood, it happens a lot, and it is alarming the way that the world is going right now. And if I can put the brakes on that, reverse it, or talk to people about it, then I will, because that's the joy and wonder that I believe in. So enjoy this 18-minute video. You are loved. Well done for you. And irrespective of what efforts come out of what you do, and if it happens once, or if I see you in 10 years, then I love you without condition. Well done for even thinking about it. And you are adored. This is Sister Anne, and you are loved.